Variety selection. Not every berry variety was built for container life. A northern highbush blueberry can grow 9 feet tall with roots that were genetically programmed for deep open ground. Put that in a pot and you are not growing a plant. You are slowly suffocating one. The first rule is this. In containers, always prioritize varieties specifically bred for that environment. But here is the number that most growers overlook completely. And it explains why thousands of healthy-looking blueberry plants sit dormant every spring and never produce a single berry. Chill hours. Every blueberry variety has a minimum chill hour requirement, the total hours per year where temperature drops below 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Miss that number and the plant never blooms. No blooms, no berries. If you are in a warm zone, you need low-chill varieties requiring as few as 150 hours. Zones 5 through 8 can work with standard varieties needing 400 to 800. That number is printed on the label. Read it before you buy anything. For self-fertile varieties, always choose these if you only have room for one pot, but if you can fit 2 plants side by side, cross-pollinate them. Every experienced grower who has done both will tell you the harvest difference is not small, it is dramatic. Container types. Now here is something that will save you an expensive mistake. The container that kills more blueberries than disease, drought, and pests combined is the beautiful, classic terracotta pot sitting on half the patios in the world. Here is why. Terracotta is porous, in a temperate climate that is manageable, but in summer heat, a terracotta pot pulls moisture out of the soil so fast the plant cannot keep up, no matter how diligently you water. Miss a single hot day, and you come back to a plant in crisis. Plastic pots retain moisture far longer. Fabric grow bags are the choice of serious growers, and for one specific reason most people have never heard of: air pruning. When roots inside a fabric bag reach the outer wall, the air contact naturally stops growth at that tip. Instead of spiraling into the death grip of a root-bound plant, those roots branch and redirect. The result is a denser, healthier root system that absorbs water and nutrients the way a healthy plant should. Size matters too. Blueberries need a minimum of 20 gallons, at least 24 inches wide and deep. Raspberries and blackberries need 24 to 36 inches. Going too small is the single most common beginner mistake, and the plant will not tell you immediately. It will look fine for one season. Then the roots run out of room, spiral, compact the soil, and the plant quietly starts declining. By the time you notice, you are already a season behind. One last thing. Before you fill any large container with soil, put it on a wheeled plant dolly. Moving a 20-gallon pot of wet soil without wheels is not something you want to discover the hard way. Planting methods. There are 3 ways to establish a container berry plant. 2 are straightforward. The third, growing blueberries from fruit you bought at the grocery store, produces results most people genuinely do not believe are possible until they try it. Start with transplanting from a nursery pot, the fastest and most reliable path to fruit. One detail most guides skip: before placing the root ball, tease and loosen the outer roots with your fingers. You are not being rough. You are resetting root direction so growth spreads outward into fresh soil instead of continuing the circular pattern it learned from the nursery container. Plant at the same soil depth as before. Water heavily immediately after to close air pockets and reduce transplant shock. Timing is everything here. Fall is the superior planting window, late October through early December, depending on your zone. Plant in fall, and the root system establishes quietly underground through the cool months before dormancy. When spring arrives, the plant already has the infrastructure it needs to put all its energy into blooming and producing. Spring planting works, but you are asking the plant to root and fruit at the same time. Fall gives it a head start that shows up clearly in the first harvest. Now, the method that surprises people. Growing from seed using store-bought berries. There are 2 techniques. The first is the whole slice method. Cut a berry in half, press the cut face onto moist, loose compost inside a sealed, lidded container. The sealed lid creates a self-condensing humidity system. Water evaporates, condenses, drips back down, hands-off and simple. but the fruit sugars left in the pulp attract mold. That fungal competition kills a significant percentage of seeds before they ever germinate. The second method eliminates that entirely. Blend fresh berries with water, let the pulp float, pour it off, repeat until only clean seeds remain at the bottom. Dry them on a paper towel, then press them directly onto moist substrate. No soil covering, just surface contact. No pulp means no mold, no competition, and dramatically higher germination rates. Store cleaned seeds in a paper envelope for up to 1 month if you cannot sow immediately. But the sooner you sow, the better. Soil mix. Here is the fact that rewrites everything most people think they know about soil. Blueberries need a pH of 4.3 to 5.5. For context, most vegetables prefer 6.5 to 7.5. That gap is not small. Standard potting mix sitting at a neutral pH does not gradually slow a blueberry down. It kills it. And because the decline is slow and the cause is invisible, most growers never connect what happened. The simplest solution is a pre-made acid-loving mix sold for azaleas or rhododendrons. Right pH, straight from the bag, no blending needed. A step up is a 1-to-1 mix of all-purpose potting soil and pine bark soil conditioner. Pine bark is naturally acidic, dramatically improves drainage, and prevents the waterlogged conditions that rot berry roots. For those who want the best results container growing can produce, there is a 3-part custom formula, and the logic behind it comes from somewhere unexpected. Wild blueberries in Maine and Alaska across the forests of the American Northeast are not growing in potting mix. They are growing on decomposing woody material, bark, leaves, rotting wood. The formula that mirrors that, 60% acid lover mix, 30% organic compost, 10% microbark mulch, mixed directly into the soil, not just layered on top. That bark breaks down slowly, improves drainage from within, and builds the structural environment blueberry roots evolved to thrive in. Test your container pH 2 to 3 times a year. Alkaline tap water gradually raises pH with every watering. Adjust with organic soil acidifier when needed. This is not optional at the advanced level. It is the habit that separates consistent producers from everyone else. Watering here is the question every container grower eventually asks: how often should I water? And here is the honest answer. That question, framed that way, cannot be answered correctly, because it depends on the berry, the container material, the pot size, the climate, and the season. Ask the wrong question and you get the wrong answer every time. What you can know, blueberries want consistent moisture, never waterlogged, never bone dry, roughly 1 inch per week. Raspberries want the opposite. Water deeply, then let the top few inches dry before watering again. Consistent dampness causes root rot in raspberries with a reliability that should make every grower cautious. Blackberries want even moisture through the fruiting window, when water availability directly impacts berry size and flavor. During seed germination, use a fine mist only. A hard stream of water physically displaces seeds from the surface and collapses the delicate substrate structure. A misting bottle is the right tool until seedlings are established. Drip irrigation is the most impactful single upgrade a container berry grower can make, not because it saves time, but because it removes the daily inconsistency of hand watering entirely. Thread the line through the sleeve of a grow bag, set a timer, and the plant gets the same delivery every day regardless of your schedule. A starting point for peak summer is around 10 minutes of daily drip, but adjust seasonally. What is right for July overwaters the same plant in April. Fertilizing. Most growers fertilize their container berries once at planting and assume the job is done. And for the first season, it mostly holds. Then year 2 arrives, smaller harvest, weaker growth, a plant that looks like something is wrong, but you cannot identify what. What is wrong is that containers deplete nutrients faster than almost any other growing system, and the plant has been quietly running down that initial deposit for months. Compost at planting, top-dressed again each spring, provides the slow natural foundation. Espoma barytone applied in early spring, just as dormancy breaks before new leaves emerge, gives the plant the targeted fertility it needs for bloom and fruit development. Hollytone works equally well with the same acid-friendly nutrient profile. Raspberries are heavy feeders and need more regular feeding through the season. A slow-release fertilizer at planting, followed by monthly organic applications, keeps pace with their demand. One thing to actively avoid: high nitrogen fertilizers. Nitrogen drives leafy growth at the direct expense of fruit production. More leaves does not mean more berries. In a fruiting plant, it often means fewer. Mulching, pruning, and pest protection. Three topics, each one underestimated by most container growers, each one capable of quietly making or breaking a season. Mulching in containers gets skipped constantly, and the consequences are higher watering frequency, unstable root temperatures, and faster soil depletion. A 2 to 3 inch layer of wheat straw insulates roots through winter and retains moisture through summer. Microbark is the better long-term choice for berries, woody, natural, slowly decomposing. The advanced move is to mix 10% microbark directly into your soil at planting, not just on the surface. It improves drainage from within and mirrors the forest floor conditions where wild blueberries evolved. Pruning is where the most expensive mistake happens, and it starts with one misunderstood fact. On blackberries and most raspberries, fruit comes from second-year canes, the floricanines. First-year canes, primocanes, are green and young and produce very little. Cut all your floricans in a well-meaning winter cleanup, and you have removed every fruiting structure the plant had. No fruit that season. Full stop. Know what you are cutting before you cut it. For blueberries, prune in late fall as dormancy begins. Remove diseased wood, low branches, and anything crossing through the center. As plants mature, cut 1/3 of the oldest canes each year. It feels counterintuitive, but older canes produce smaller berries, younger canes produce better fruit. Renewal pruning is how consistent quality is maintained over time. Pest protection. The main pest is not what most people expect. It is not fungal disease. It is not root rot. It is birds. And the standard solution most people use does not actually work. Draping netting directly over a blueberry plant stops nothing. Birds land on it and reach straight through. Effective netting requires a frame that holds the mesh at least 12 inches away from the plant on all sides. That physical gap is what creates the barrier. Without it, the netting is theater. The approach that works even better long-term is behavioral. Feed the birds elsewhere. Multiple bird feeders positioned on the opposite side of the property remove the motivation for birds to seek out your containers in the first place. Give them an easier food source and they will take it.
The final habit. Everything in this video works better when one habit is consistently in place. Test your soil pH. Observe your containers daily through peak summer. Watch how fast each specific pot dries after watering and adjust from what you actually see, not from a fixed schedule. Run drip irrigation, but tune it seasonally. Top dress compost every spring. Prune with intention. Net with a frame. The growers who pull a reliable, abundant harvest from container berries year after year are not the ones with the most expensive setup. They are the ones who pay attention, who just observe and respond to what is actually happening, rather than what a schedule tells them should be happening. That habit, built gradually, refined over seasons, is what every section of this video is building toward. Not a checklist to follow once. A way of thinking that you carry into every growing season from what you